Hello YouTube wise, Fifi here, coming at you today on a Thursday. Little off color for me. I usually come at you with these marquee matchup predictions on Tuesday or Wednesday. I apologize for that. Been really busy finishing up school and final, so now that that is over, the regular uploads can continue. I'm going to really try to churn out some videos, so be on the lookout for a double upload today. But right now, this is a marquee matchup squad builder prediction, so that means I'm going to tell you the teams that I think are most likely to be included in the main one, and I'll give you guys a couple sleepers that are no risk investments so that even if it doesn't get featured, you won't lose many coins. Because I'm a little bit late with this one than usual, some of the prices on some of these players are high, so I don't know if I really recommend investing in one or two of these matchups. But at the same time, if you want to be able to complete these teams, I'm going to show you guys the teams anyways, just so you guys can get a jump on it, just in case the prices of these teams do skyrocket. No one wants to be paying that 10k or 8k plus for those bronze or silvers from teams in the A League or in like the Japanese league. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, and so without further ado, we're going to go into it. Getting really close to those 1,000,000 coins. Really excited to be doing. I'm going to be throwing out a road to 1,000,000 later to talk about how I got there. But without further ado, so you see some of the investments I've made here. Sorry that it's a little bit jumbled, but most of these guys are pretty close to what I want. So the first matchup that I think is going to be in the marquee matchup squad builder is Espanola versus Barcelona. I think that this is a big matchup in Spain. And these two La Liga teams, it's one of those derbies, and EA likes to include derbies, and this gives them a perfect time to include a squad builder where a lot of people can use their gold players and put those to work. The last time they did a squad builder in the La Liga, like the El Clasico, it was all Spanish players, and those guys' players' prices were insane. But I don't see that happening again, although I did pick up a couple Spanish players from each team just in case. And these players, honestly, they're going right now for what they usually go, so you will not lose much if you pick them up and this match is not featured. The next match we're going to get into is the Club World Cup final. Last week they surprised us with a Club World Cup. I would have gone 4 for 4 if they wouldn't have done that, but we went 3 for 4, and then they included the Korean team, I think Jobunk or Jeobunk, sorry if I butchered that pronunciation, in Club America. But this week, that final, I believe, is totally going to be featured if they're going to continue with that theme. And the final of this Club World Cup is on Sunday, and it features Kawashima Antlers and Real Madrid. Should be an interesting game to watch if it's ever televised in the United States or whatnot. But let me know what you guys think of the Club World Cup, if it's a good idea, in the comments below. However, I definitely think that this matchup will be featured in the marquee matchup squad builder. So moving on, there is one more concrete one that a lot of people cannot miss, and here you see one of the players that we're looking at here, and that is going to be the Liverpool versus Everton, the Merseyside derby in England. I feel like this is a 100% guarantee. You can pick up these players for pretty cheap even now, and I think that you might not be able to make too much on this, but you definitely can, because the market might be a little saturated because people are holding on to these cards because they were marked down on their calendar when this big derby was, so that marquee matches would feature that, so they could sell these players. So honestly though, the non-rares are a little bit expensive. They go for about the same price as the rares. So I think if you pick up the rares, you'll be able to make just as many coins, because you can pick up the rares for pretty much discard pairs, and you need to be wary of the fact that the non-rare market for these two teams might crash a little or not spike as much as you want. So this is a little bit more of a safe fire way to invest if you're a little bit more risk adverse or don't like risk. All right, so those are the 4 main one. I'm gonna go through never mind, that is not the last one. I have one more main one, and that is Melbourne City and Melbourne Victory. These players' prices are ridiculously high already right now, like for silvers and stuff. You can't find a player on Melbourne Victory for less than 2,000 by now, and you can't find a player on Melbourne City for less than 1,000. Like 500 by now. So there's a lot of players on both these teams, and this is clearly a derby in the A League, and I really think that the EA will do this. They like to include these small league derbies so that these players see some popularity, and the game isn't just one faceted with the big clubs. I like that they do this, but if I would have gotten this to you guys a little bit earlier, the investment might have been better. But right now these guys are really expensive, so I don't necessarily recommend investing in them. However, I do recommend if you want to be able to build these teams, maybe picking up a couple of these guys for their low buy nows now because the price will go up. So I guess there's room for investment there. I just don't know if I'd be 100% sure because if this doesn't get featured, you're going to be losing a lot of coins. And so that completes the 4 main ones that I think. I'm going to go through a little recap again. So I think that is going to be Barcelona versus Espanola, Liverpool versus Everton, the Club World Cup final, which is Real Madrid and Kawashima Antlers, and then the one we just looked at, Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory in the A-League. So now I'm going to give you guys 2 sleepers that I think are going to pop up. I could give you 3, but I'll add a bonus sleeper in, but usually I do 2, and these are no risk investment teams that are playing each other, that have pretty much marquee matchups. There is okay. So the first one, I don't necessarily have a lot of players from these teams, but the first one is PSV versus Ajax. That is a big matchup in the Dutch league. The past few years, that has been the 1 and 2 teams. I know Feyenoord's up there now this year, but PSV and Ajax, the EA seems to love the Eredivisie. So maybe go ahead and pick up a few of those players. I picked up these Ajax players for really close to their discard price. I mean, you can get them for 300, 400 coins. PSV and Ajax gold players. That's definitely a solid investment. Also, then we're moving to Ligue 1, where we're going to have Olympique Marseille versus, I think I have some of these players here on the transfer list. Olympique Marseille, or not Marseille. Let me track it back a sec. So it's going to be AS Monaco versus Olympique Lyon. That's a big matchup in the south of France. I think that actually might even be a derby in France. So look out for those players. I got a couple Lyon. I didn't win any of those Lyon players, and I don't think I won any of the I didn't win any of the Monaco players either, but you can still pick those guys up for really close to their regular buy now, like around 400, 500 coins, and that's a really solid investment. The Ligue 1 players don't go for pretty much less than that because of the squad builder challenge that they have for the Lacazette. So that is a pretty surefire way to make a bunch of coins if the match is featured, and at the same time not lose any if the match is not featured. And finally, another match like that I was just thinking of that I don't really have featured in any of the players here, but you guys will be able to get these players for around the same discard price by now, is Juventus versus Roma. That is number 1 and number 2 teams playing each other in Serie A. The marquee matchups aren't necessarily all rivalries. They can be featured games between prominent teams in their league position. So Juventus and Roma, the only reason that I'm a little apprehensive about that one is that the Gianluigi Buffon Squad Builder Challenge is out, so there already is a demand for Juventus players. That is it for the marquee matchup portion. Now we're going to get into these packs. I love opening the packs, and I'll give you guys a recap one more time at the end of the video about what I think the matchups are going to be. But right now, let's get into some packs. We get Willian Jose. The dude used to play for Real Madrid. Oh, and that Dwight Gale looks awesome. I'm really glad I got that card. So I want to try that out because I want to know if I want to be able to use this card. He looks awesome. You could put Deadeye Sniper on him to really help out his rest of his stats, or finisher. But if you also want to get that pace up, Hunter or Catalyst can really do wonders for this guy. Willian Jose, I like to play with the strong strikers and you put a Hunter card on him and he actually will feel pretty fast in game. I've done that with a couple players, but that 64 pace is a little worrisome. And so we get James Milner. Always nice to feature a person that's going to be in the marquee matchups in the game. And so now what we're really hoping for is to get a couple players from the Melbourne City or Melbourne Victory. That would be awesome because those guys are going for ridiculous prices. We get a good couple players from Borussia Dortmund. Those always help out. I'm going to send James Milner to the transfer list just because he is featuring in the marquee matchups. Love to get the consumables and the fitness. I'm just going to send the rest of these guys to the club and then quick sell the others. Going to try to keep this video short. Again, I'm already over 9 minutes, but if you guys stayed with me, thank you so much. And you guys have been smashing the support on this series as usual. It's one of my favorite series to make, if not my favorite series to make. And we get why? Oh my gosh. No rare players at all. That is rough. But again, we're just going to send these guys to the club. They might help out with that. That might help out with that. That Barcelona versus Espanola Squad Builder Challenge. Other than that, though, it's Ben Wise FIFA. I'm going to go over the recap one more time. So the four main ones are the Real Madrid versus Kawashima, Espanola versus Barcelona, Liverpool versus Everton, and then Melbourne Victory versus Melbourne City, with sleepers being Monaco versus Lyon, PSV Ajax, and Juventus versus Roma. Enjoy this week. Look out for my next upload later today. But most importantly, keep smashing that like button, and the support on this series has been great. Come on over to the channel to see the rest of the foot content. But most importantly, like and subscribe, and stay wise.